Wangfuk Court resident reveals some of them are often blocked from voting assemblies, while a fire service contractor testifies that fire safety systems have been shut down a week before the blaze. Former government official Janice Day is appointed as Secretary for Constitutional and Mainland Affairs. And Kuomintang chairwoman Cheng Li-wen will visit China next month and meet with President Xi Jinping. Good evening, you're watching Cable News. I'm Cheryl Yun. The Independent Committee continued its fifth hearing into the deadly Taipo fire. Multiple residents recounted their escape, alleging workers smoked on site, irregular voting procedures, and the out-of-service fire alarm system. The Victory Fire Engineering, responsible for the estate's fire safety systems, reported that they found the main switches for the fire alarms and firefighting pumps at 8 blocks had been turned off. Evelyn Bai has more details.
Wong Tai House resident Stanley Yip said his wife, one of the 168 victims in last November's inferno, had asked him to go downstairs to check their son at Wong Cheung House before they lost contact. Yip said he once told a contractor that the protective netting appeared thinner and a lighter color, but received no reply but a smile. Yip added that voting on major issues in the owner's corporation was often suspicious, as ballots coming from nowhere would be dropped into the voting boxes. He also noted unfamiliar faces at voting assemblies, while himself could not attend because the venue was fully seated. On the fire systems, Victory Fire Engineering electrical worker Wong Kin-wah recounted his revisit on November 19th. Another electrician found that the main switches controlling both the fire alarms and firefighting pumps at all buildings had been switched off. The management told Wong the shutdowns were for renovation and water tank repairs, and that another contractor, China Status Development, had filed the required notices. But staff could not produce the documents, and he remained unable to verify their existence until the day of the fire. The hearing displayed a joint notice from Wangfuk Court's management office and the owner's corporation, stating that China Status Development has shut down the building's fire hydrants and hose reels from April 7th to April 20th last year. During a short morning break, a false alarm at the City Gallery building prompted an evacuation, and the hearing resumed about half an hour later. The hearing will continue on Tuesday morning. Evelyn Bai, Cable News.
Acting Chief Secretary Warner Churk eased concerns about the time limit for Wangfuk Court residents returning to their flats, stating that the government will manage arrangements flexibly. Evelyn Bai again has the story.
From April 20th to May 4th, Wangfuk Court residents can return their fire-hit units in group of up to 4 to collect belongings during assigned time slots. With a maximum stay of 3 hours, each household has only one visit, which has sparked complaints about the insufficient time.
一個受過大火嘅呢個損害嘅一個樓宇咧。
Chek explained that the limit was based on the fact that the Wangfuk Court was suffering severe fire damage, so there was safety and other issues to be addressed. He acknowledged that residents need more time and suggested those with needs relay them through the one social worker per household service, and the government will handle requests case by case. Chek on Saturday defended the 3-hour window, saying that with flats allowing up to 4 people to return, each household effectively had 12 hours to collect their belongings. Chek clarified his comment that if several people go up together, they can pitch in to help retrieve stuff, brushing off the idea that more people mean more time. Evelyn Bai, Cable News.
Hong Kong authorities have arrested 42 people in a joint crackdown on triad infiltration and corruption involving a consultancy firm and its building maintenance projects worth $180 million. Quinton Yang reports.
The Independent Commission Against Corruption has received complaints from the public since mid-2025, alleging that a project consultancy firm had assisted construction contractors to secure building maintenance contracts through bribery. Investigations revealed that the consultancy had engaged triad members as middlemen to manipulate the tendering process through corrupt means. The ICAC and the police mounted a joint operation for 2 consecutive days last week, arresting 10 men, including the proprietor and the registered inspector of the project consultancy firm, as well as several triad-linked middlemen. The graft watchdog said 3 residential estates were targeted. Fuxing Estate in Taipo was believed to be one of them. The project sum was estimated to be over $160 million, and the consultancy firm secured the consultancy contract at a price far below a reasonable level, just 0.5% of the contract sum. The ICAC's early intervention is believed to have prevented the corrupt dealings from taking place. In addition, the project consultancy firm secured the consultancy contract for the grand renovation project of a residential building on Hong Kong Island in 2022, involving various dubious expenditures totaling several $million. The firm is also suspected of accepting bribes of $1.4 million to lobby flat owners of a building in Kowloon to award a fire safety improvement contract to a certain contractor at about twice the market price. The police also raided multiple locations in the New Territories, believed to be controlled by those with triad backgrounds, who were arrested by the ICAC. The force apprehended 32 people for suspected gambling and operating gambling establishments. Quentin Yang, Cable News.
Retired government official Janice Tse has been appointed as the new Secretary for Constitutional and Mainland Affairs. Chief Executive John Lee said she is the best fit for the job, whose top priority is formulating Hong Kong's first 5-year plan. Nominated by Chief Executive John Lee and appointed by the State Council, Tse takes over from Acting Secretary Clement Wu, who replaced his former boss Eric Tsang in January following his resignation due to health reasons. Lee commended Tse as the best candidate, citing her solid foundation in working and communicating with different bureau and civil servants, which gives her a clear advantage in formulating the city's first 5-year plan, a task he described as the most important for the new minister. Tse joined the government in 1987. She was Director of Home Affairs from 2016 to 2022 and retired last year as Permanent Secretary for Environment and Ecology. Addressing concerns about her limited mainland experience, Tse stressed she has had substantial cross-boundary collaboration in her previous roles, including in innovation and technology, public health services, and environmental protection. I am not unfamiliar with exchanges with the mainland at all, she said. Regarding reports that Tse owned 18 properties when she retired last year, Tse said the government's declaration mechanism is well established and transparent, and she will continue to declare her assets as required. A man was arrested after viral video showed a child steering the car on a road in Tuen Mun. The footage from social media showed a young child sitting on the driver's lap and steering the wheel without wearing seatbelt for more than a minute on Hung Si Wui Road. The police said the 22-year-old driver turned himself in and was arrested on suspicion of dangerous driving. It is understood that the driver is from the mainland and he is the toddler's uncle. In Taiwan, Kuomintang chairwoman Chen Li-wen has accepted President Xi Jinping's invitation to visit the mainland next month. Song Tao, head of Beijing's Taiwan Affairs Office, announced that the Communist Party's Central Committee and Xi would host Chen in Jiangsu Province, Shanghai and Beijing from April 7th to 12th. The visit aims to promote peaceful development of relations between the two parties and across the Taiwan Strait. In Taiwan, Chen has accepted the invitation with gratitude and hopes the visit would boost cross-strait exchanges and cooperation while advancing peace, stability, and the well-being of people on both sides. She reiterated that her party upholds the 1992 consensus and stand against Taiwan independence. The visit would mark the first such trip by a sitting leader of Taiwan's opposition party since 2016. U.S. President Donald Trump has warned to seize Iran's main oil export hub, Karg Island, to grab Iranian crude, even as he insists that talks with Tehran are making very good progress. Iran, in return, accuses the United States of plotting a ground invasion under the guise of diplomacy and has retaliated with missile and drone strikes that hit several key American targets across the region. Quinton Yang shares more.
In an interview with the Financial Times, Trump announced that capturing Karg Island, an offshore terminal through which 90% of Iran's oil exports pass, remains a tantalizing option. He claimed that the island is largely undefended, asserting we could take it very easily. Despite the threat, he projected confidence in diplomacy, asserting that Tehran has accepted most of the U.S. proposed 15-point peace plan.
We are negotiating with them directly and indirectly. We have emissaries, but we also are dealing directly. We're doing extremely well in that negotiation, but you never know with Iran because we negotiate with them and then we always have to blow them up.
Meanwhile, mediator Pakistan announced to host U.S.-Iranian talks in the coming days. As diplomacy looms, Iranian leaders portray the peace overtures as a smokescreen for a planned ground invasion. The New York Times said hundreds of U.S. Special Forces troops, including Army Rangers and Navy SEALs, have arrived in the region to join Marines already deployed. Simultaneously, fighting continues on the ground. Iranian state media said a petrochemical plant in Tabriz, northwestern Iran, was bombed, sparking a fire but no toxic leaks. In retaliation, Iran has struck deeper inside Saudi Arabia, where the U.S. maintains key air bases. Iranian-linked sources say a U.S. E-3 Sentry airborne warning and control aircraft was hit at Prince Sultan Air Base. Iranian forces also claim to have shot down a U.S. MQ-9 Reaper drone over the eastern Strait of Hormuz, and to be ready in missile strikes against any U.S. aircraft carrier, including the USS Abraham Lincoln that comes within range. Quinton Yang, Cable News.
Japanese stocks sank on Monday as the Middle East conflict approached 1 month, with the yen fluctuating around the 160 range against the greenback after Tokyo's top currency officials signaled taking decisive steps against speculators if current conditions continue. Evelyn Bai reports.
The Nikkei 225 declined 2.79% to 51,885.85 after plunging more than 2,800 points or 5.2% in early trading. The yen strengthened to touch 159.74 to the US dollar after slipping past 160 earlier in the morning, a threshold seen by some investors as a trigger for government intervention. The currency's rebound followed remarks by Japan's Vice Minister of Finance for International Affairs, Atsushi Mimura, who warned that speculative moves are intensifying in the currency market, adding that if this situation continues, decisive measures may soon be necessary. His remarks were dubbed the strongest warning yet of yen buying intervention. Evelyn Bai, Cable News.
Let's take a look at the stock market. The Hang Seng Index ended the day down 201 points. Top active stocks of the day. Tencent was down $11.80. Pop Mart was down 90 cents. BYD Company was down 70 cents. Meituan was down $1.70. Foreign exchange against the Hong Kong dollar, euro 8.99, Canadian dollar 5.62. Hong Kong snooker star Ng On Yi has completed the British Open hat-trick. Ng has defeated reigning world champion Bai Yu Lu 4-2 to win the Landywood British Open title for the third successive year. She became only the fifth player to have won the British Open on 3 or more occasions and moves to 24 career titles in total. The victory will also see 35-year-old Ng climb one place to second in the latest world rankings and also represents her first win against the Chinese star on the World Women's Snooker Tour. On to the weather now. Mainly cloudy, a few showers tomorrow, sunny intervals during the day. More showers with a few squally thunderstorms later. Temperatures will range between 23 and 28 degrees. Still a few showers with sunny intervals in the following couple of days. That's our news tonight. I'm Cheryl Yun. Thanks for watching and good night.